Hey everybody, this is Breaking the Cage, Astrology TV for January 7th through the 13th. It is a new moon in Capricorn and it is a powerful, powerful week. But the way Spirit gives it to me is dun dun dun, have no fear, underdog is here. Yeah, the cartoon. For all of you who are that old who get that. They give that to me in specific energy vibrations. That underdog is here. And that's because I don't personally, for me personally, I'm not the biggest one on the conspiracy theory and bringing out all of the negative stuff that we're learning about. But yet we still have to learn these things without becoming these things. And this is part of what they're giving me, as I said, different levels of vibration, different levels of timelines and dimensions when they're giving me that have no fear, underdog is here. You've got to understand, in a form, we humans, we are the underdog. I mean, think about it. There's been, from the beginning, we've been spliced, energetically manipulated, and created. Ultimately, we're Frankenstein. And the manipulation has gone far enough. And this is what they mean by that underdog. But the problem with that is, see, you root for the underdog because it's the one you expect to lose. It's the one that, was the victim. But the thing is, like the cartoon, we might not necessarily come into doing it properly or right, but the fight was for the right side of things. And what they're giving me is this year, 2024, I have said in my own personal things, my own personal posts and whatnot, that 2024 is like a soul assembly year, or last coming together of making sure our soul assembly is correct. Think about it. You have 9 and 10 coming into a year, the next 2 years of completion as we start to move forward. So this is making sure we are getting our shit right, that we are on point, that we are coming back to ourselves. And what they're giving me is, it really has a lot to do with the way your brain power works, and a lot to do with just how conscious are you of your unconsciousness. A lot of this has to do with our definition and our ideas behind realities and words. Underdog. Looking at it from as if we were the victim. This is a no-no. This is a no-no. If you are still seeing yourself as victimized, then you are allowing the victimization, I guess, to come in. We are looking at coming into, like I said, soul assembly, being in control of our power, coming back into true consciousness of our unconsciousness, that connection with our higher selves. And knowing that the way we think and we create our realities have everything to do with the dimensional and timelines and vibrations that we are in. Just like we have spoken for so long, including myself, we have spoken for so long about, you got to get to the root of things. You got to keep digging down deep. Higher self is not down deep. Higher self is higher. Your subconscious, I don't know how many times I've said, people, that your unconscious is more powerful than your consciousness. It's connected to the higher self, but we have worded it in the form of sub, in the form of as in lower than ourselves, that our consciousness is higher. No, our higher selves are higher than us. It is a deeper connection of allowing ourselves to be connected to that, allowing ourselves to come into that. And if we are considering ourselves as the underdog, still, we are automatically giving the power of that manipulation away. If you're going to see yourself as the underdog, see yourself as the superhero. And, overcoming that is the way that they are showing me it. This is why I say so many times that I live in my little cartoon land and that I stay in. I don't care what nobody says. I love my superhero movies. I love my superhero movies or cartoons or shows or whatever. You have to have something that shows both the positive and the negative. And you have to have something that makes you feel that inside you're capable of overcoming anything, because you're the most powerful thing that there is. You are capable of it. You are energy and soul connected. It's making sure we're using our connection properly instead of putting it down into lower words. Like, you're going to have a lot of overcoming fears, but I don't mean fears of like necessarily, oh, I hope the car makes it. Maybe you're having car problems and I hope the car makes it, or what I'm saying is fears of ourselves, fears of our own unconscious, fears of our higher selves that we have problems believing in. This is where I say Pluto energy. Remember, Pluto is at 29 degrees, gone back to the old ways of things. It's on its last smack you down before it comes into Aquarius. Plus, we're in new moon in Capricorn right now. On, what is it, the 11th? You have Mars here that's come in, going to be sitting right on top of Folos as it crosses over. Mercury coming back in. You have Pluto here and the sun, all in that outer world. Let me just stop for 1 second. Where is that Capricorn in the body within our chakras? It is Satella. It is the knees itself. It governs over jealousy, helplessness. People who are stuck in Satella often are fighting everything, are very combative. This is where I've been saying that you've got Folos and Mars coming in. Mars coming in and going to cross over Folos in your outer world, your outer authority of overcoming fears and anxieties and inadequacy and things of what we think we're not quite capable of rising up to. This is where the inner fight with you about godding is, and wanting to fight every single bit of it. It's your inner warrior. But when your inner warrior isn't confident, this is where problems come in. Or gets too confident and cocky, well, especially when it's sitting on Folos, with the sun illuminating the outer world. And where was I? Pluto. Death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration. The exact parts of all of the glorious soul and light that you are, but where you're still afraid. You can't physically feel yourself touching that light and becoming it, but where it is exactly that. You are everything. You are all energy manipulated into one. It just depends on where you're putting it. And if we look at the way our brain works and the way we perceive the world around us, what are we fearing? What are we fearing of becoming? What are we afraid if we get what we desire and we go after the world we're wanting to create? This is comfort zone versus actually making the movement forward. This is why I said this year is soul assembly, making sure we have all of the parts that we need in the correct place, with the healing, with the light, bringing it in, and we're tearing this bitch down. We are moving forward, and there is no more denial. There is no more fear and anxiety and doubt, because we are tearing this bitch down. We are moving forward and coming back into our full power. And we have to explore all areas of where we still believe we're the underdog, so we can bring healing to it and eliminate that, turning ourselves back into that superhero and doing exactly what we were brought back here to do. Spirit also gives me that this week is a rune called Othala. Now, you've heard me speak of it from time to time, but it's mainly the rune of sacred space. But I'm going to walk through some of my information here. It's the ancestral property, heritage, and homeland. It is the world of nations. Now, think of it from that higher dimensional perspective. Think of it from vibrational timelines. World of nations. It is of earth. What is truly important to one, increasing and in abundance. Like I said, it's an 8 also this year. So abundance and manifestation, and all of the planets other than Vista and Uranus have gone direct. So this is, oh, I've just woken up from the nap and now things are about to move forward. And it's about to take a fast, rapid forward movement. And this is why I'm saying Capricorn is where this new moon is, setting the new direction and making sure we are grounded and eyes wide open and aware of everything. It is a placento effect of mirroring of our outer world of what's really truly going on inside of us as to where and what vibration, dimensional frequency, and timelines we are on. Yes, I'm getting deep, people. We are not in, kindergarten anymore. We're supposed to be coming into like college years. This is time for the smackdown for us to truly start moving forward. And this is what I was saying in a post I put out right there on New Year's Day, I think it was, that my job isn't to bring out the conspiracy theorists information and all the low vibrational ick that we are finding out. But my job is to stand right in between that and our souls and making sure that we are not becoming the negative. We are not allowing all of that negative to put us in that underdog feel, and that we are coming back into our power to get us right with soul. Othala speaks of, it indicates the importance of the bigger issues, the structure and considered approach to them. It is the larger picture and the frame. If you followed me from any amount of time, I say often, do you look at the wall when somebody says, hey, check out that picture? Or check out that wall over there, the picture over there. Do you just look at the picture? Are you looking at the frame? Are you looking at the painting on the wall? Are you looking at, are there spider webs up in the corner? Are you looking at, is the painting crumbling? Are we seeing everything? This is the connection with that unconscious, or subconscious, which technically is us using the wrong wording to put higher self below us. It's above us. It's the climb. That's where you're at. The climb. The climb. And like I said, what words are we giving definitions to in our mind that keep us from going somewhere? You cannot tell your higher self, keep digging down deep where there's nothing down there. It's low vibrational of where you're still unconscious, where you're still in denial. Higher self knows where you're in denial, but he knows it's got to come up higher to move you up and out of it. Look at the wall. Not just the picture on the wall. Look at the frame. Look at the painting. Look at the spider webs. Look at the chipping. Look at the crown molding. We're seeing, evaluating, cleaning up the whole damn thing. Othala speaks of the whole family, the society, the nation, the consciousness of all of us coming together as one, as a unity. It is the rune of sacred space. Remember, I've said 1,000,000 times, people, nobody can take this away from you. Nobody can take your soul connection away from you. Nobody can take all of the power and everything that was breathed into the essence of the moment that you were born from you. But you can misplace it. You cannot believe in it. You can still believe in your Frankenstein story. Or you can rise above that and tear this bitch down. That is where we are. Hello, my little Napatuni. You want to say hi to all the nice people? Say hi to all the hi. Okay, let me get into this. Remember, you have all of your main hitting planetary energies in the lower parts of the chakras, the lower chakras that nobody talks about, where I'm always saying it's the consciencelessness. So you're in the subconscious, you're in the lower consciousness, but it's not lower consciousness. This is where we've taught ourselves wrong. You're in that connection of higher self. If you'll shut up and let the higher self direct you by allowing it to do its job, by showing you where you're caught on ideas, fear-based, that are keeping you in that underdog energy. You have, like I said, you have Atala and Vitala, which are technically Sagittarius energy, which is where you have Venus. And what do I have here? You have Venus and where did I put it? Did I leave it out? Venus and Ceres. Speaking perfectly about this, Sagittarius should be the higher self. It's where the galactic center is. It's where your center of consciousness is versus your center of higher self is. It's where the higher understanding is. But when it's not in its highest vibration, it speaks to you of fear itself, of anxiety and promiscuity. I need what I need and I need it right now in order to feel comfortable and safe. It speaks to you of anger and despair, frustration. Then you come into the knees where we're hitting the jealousy, feeling inadequacy, inferiority, helplessness. Then as we start moving a little lower into Aquarius energy, where we are, it's mainly moving us all the way down into Pluto, where you have the Neptune and the Saturn, and this is bringing us down to our most malice of energy, where we hold on to the most lowest of vibrations, and this is overcoming it. If you're going to see the underdog in you, see him as becoming that superhero, seeing him as the only way the good can prevail is to not give up, is to keep believing in it and see it through. And keep that hope and that faith within you, keeping connection to that higher self. We are looking at the lowest parts of ourself coming into registering its understanding of where we've been genetically created, genetically manipulated, manipulated in every facet. Frankenstein. But we're going to reclaim, like I said. Now, when I start getting into the actual, let me just jump ahead to, I have it right here. On the 11th, when we have that actual new moon, which technically is on the 11th, but I believe the new moon is taking place at like 6 a.m. So 6 a.m. on the 11th. So you're going to feel this energy more of on the 10th as it's building. And then the day of the 11th, technically it's already happened. It's already hit its high peak. But you have more or less a yachting and energy this week. What is a yacht? I've said a million times. It's like the finger of God pointing at a specific direction, helping us to move forward. This is why I'm coming at it so powerfully, because that yachting energy is pointing directly at the only thing that's really still retrograde, Uranus. in the second house. And it's not its most powerful and potent here. This is either you're in your power or you're mistaken of what your power is and acting like a lion in a cage, attacking because I cannot lose that power, or literally the possession of the outer world of, Frankenstein and the crazy one that made him. Your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, your liberation. Standing in it, believing in it, reclaiming it, feeling it, knowing it. But it's not in the most comfortable places of being able to do it. It's still somewhat of shaking in its boots. And it points to that. It points to becoming the possession of yourself. And that yacht is directly speaking to that South Node in Libra, talking about harmony, balance, and justice in your relationships, not putting things on the back burner, not ignoring it and saying, okay, for heaven's sake, let me make sure that everything is safe and comfortable here on the home front. No. This is about creating harmony and balance by seeing things through. And what is it talking to? Ceres and Venus in that ninth house. Getting into, I want what I want and I want it right now. Fear and promiscuity coming out of where we're not in it. So what am I afraid to hold on to because I'm afraid it'll be taken away from me, or I'm so boldly in my inner warrior believing in it so much that you have no choice but that Pholos energy and Mars to go, nope, I got to redirect this situation again. Venus is your sensitivity. I've said a million times, she's not love. She speaks to you about what is good for you, what is bad for you, why it's good for you, why it's bad for you. Touching something that will burn you and getting burned, getting hurt, getting betrayed. That is Venus showing you why you shouldn't do those things versus what does work for you, makes you feel secure, and when you know that you can trust it. Sitting there with Ceres, the threefold, sitting there with harmony of nurturing or the very lack of it because of neglect. You're about to get hit with this energy of, are you nurturing properly or neglecting? And the only thing we can do is pull the rug out from underneath you and get you back on point. Like I said, that Mars is sitting with Pholos, or it's going to be crossing over Pholos, the poison. Do not fumble. This is open your eyes and make sure that we are moving forward. This is directing all of its energy at your Uranus. Independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom. Are you connected with your higher self? Allowing your higher self to work through you. Coming back into the liberation of your soul sparks, your soul assembly. Tearing all this bitch down and coming back in charge of your power. Or are we still in denial and still fighting these things? And why? Why have you given it the power to have over you? What makes you think that you're the underdog? What makes you still connect to that underdog? Because we don't want to connect to the lower vibration. We are the highest thing. It's time to reclaim it. Not to mention, as we have that new moon in Capricorn, the outer world, fear, jealousy, inadequacy, the outer world of the authority, the mirroring of what you project into your manifestation and your timelines and your creation of your vibration, where you truly are. That is fighting with Chiron, the North Node, in the first house, who your character is. Still going, no, 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 go back to sleep. Or no, I'm healing this. I know who I am. I'm breathing it into me. I'm becoming the flame of my soul. I know that I create my own reality. The North Node is everything you need to learn in order to move forward, coming into the true character of who and what you are. And then you have that Chiron starting a new cycle or not, based on the healing you've given yourself. Denial versus truly seeing what you are, believing it, and healing the branches of your tree of life that are a little broken. It's also not getting along with Neptune, the creator of breathing in that magic to you. Magic manifest. 12th house, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities. Or creating fantasy versus reality, breathing in the new dream. And it's not getting along with the sun. So this is some deep, I'm not going to be the underdog anymore, but I have to see what parts of me have allowed myself to believe that so I can reclaim it. Soul assembly. And you're having that happen over that new moon energy, while it's also that moon starts to come out of Capricorn, go over the sun, go over Pluto, questioning all of that outer world, coming into Aquarius, starting to fight with Jupiter and Uranus. The possession and the power of you to claim it. It is where your manifestation begins, by where you vibrationally feel and believe you are. We have some powerful positive energy this week. You have trines all week, and Spirit is pointing out, point out the trines. And this means that the opportunities are here. Good things can happen. Jupiter in that second house, which is now direct, is getting along great with Mars, which is also with that Pholos energy as it comes over it. Being able to see the poison and make sure we didn't fumble and drop it and accidentally have it land in our life and cause problems, but still get the catapult to the new version of ourselves. Jumping the timeline to the new direction because we reclaimed it. We became powerful of it. I always say Mars is not just your inner warrior, your inner SWAT team, but it's your belly dancer. It's your confidence. If you don't have confidence, then where are you going to go? And Mars here in Capricorn can get angry and word vomit very easily. But this is a positive energy. So this is taking it in you, using that inner warrior, that inner SWAT team wisely, redirecting your outer world, your outer authority, how you're seen, and what you will ultimately bring back into the mirroring of your energy. It is also getting along great with Lilith, your 6th house, Virgo, grounding in your daily routines, your daily mundane tasks. I cannot say enough times what energies you are a part of in your mundane day-to-day actually is the biggest part of what you are manifesting and creating. How are you spending your time and your energy? Because it is also creating the energy that you are, the vibration that you are ultimately becoming. I can't say enough times, if you are spending your day working on your spiritual, ascension, your spiritual know-how, your spiritual connection, if you are spending your day holding on to all of the conspiracy things and the negative, and all you do is breathe that into your life all day long, then you are ultimately lowering yourself into becoming that which you don't want to become. It's just like spending the day at the bar. It's okay to have a drink. It's okay to have a few drinks with dinner from time to time. It is not okay to be a belligerent, drunken alcoholic, fighting and avoiding and in denial of all that you could become. This energy is Jupiter, the higher self, bringing abundance to your identification, your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem. But it's up to you to believe in yourself. It's up to you to believe in breathing that superhero into yourself. The sun is getting along great with Uranus, illuminating who you are if you can see who you are, if you can believe in that and breathe it into life. Reclaiming it, standing in that power, liberation. Venus is getting along great with Chiron in the North Node. Your sensitivity showing you what's good for you, what's not, where you've been treating yourself well versus where you haven't. Neglect or nurturing. The exact character of who you believe yourself to be versus who you truly are. You have Mercury, which is leaving Sagittarius, coming back into Capricorn. And it is getting along great with the North Node. Again, identifying your soul assembly. Where are there little nuts and bolts in your soul assembly that are missing that we need to just tighten up? These are very positive things. Not to mention, what nobody is going to speak about, Vista is the keys to connecting and opening the doors to all of that which you want. And it is sitting in retrograde still in communication, in the communication house, which Mercury just came out of retrograde, but it's still shadow. And it's coming into all of this outer mirroring energy. This is time for you to believe. Like I said, higher self's going to throw a little wrench in there. Just what vibration are you? Are you truly able to see where it's denial or not, where you're nurturing or neglecting your truth? It's not about getting deep. It's about rising the climb into the higher self. You have some sextiles this week, the Sun, Saturn, and Jupiter. This is illuminating the change, the power and the belief to make the change, to set the new boundaries, to redirect, to reclaim the magic. Like I said, everybody's going direct now. It's all full steam ahead. We're starting to make the changes. Neptune and Pluto and the Sun midweek are coming into each other because the Sun is moving closer to the end of Capricorn. This is reclaiming who you are. If you can get past the subconscious denial, get past the neglect, and truly start nurturing the truth. Mercury and the South Node are getting along great. Learning how to rebirth, how to communicate with yourself, how to put your relationships in a healthy direction, set new rules, walls, and boundaries, rebirth, regenerate, redirect. The main problem this week is you have Chiron, the Sun, and the South Node not getting along, illuminating that outer world, that outer authority, that outer projectivity of what has authority over you, your honor, your reputation, your prestige, your career zones, the outer imaging of your creation. Reflecting back to you what you've created and how we're changing it, the timeline and vibration which we are on. It is fighting with Chiron. Can you be responsible for what you're creating and the changes that still need to be shifted for the healing? Along with that South Node. Get out of your comfort zone, people. Get out of your comfort zone and redirect, making harmony and balance. True justice, not creating false harmony and balance to save face, to not have the fight. Saturn and Lilith are not getting along, meaning changing your daily routines, being responsible for the energies that you allow to be projected in your life. You're mundane. It is your daily activity, your daily assembly of the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. What are you a part of? The energies, your energy diet. Saturn is saying there's some rules, walls, and boundaries, things that have to be shifted here in our daily activity where we're still connecting with that Frankenstein underdog versus reclaiming the power and rising into that climb. You have that South Node in Chiron. Same kind of thing here. Harmony, balance, justice, because it's the right harmony, balance, justice, not because it's the one that just makes you comfortable. Okay, I can still get by a little longer. That's not who you were. You weren't put here to get by. You were put here to make the change, to be the change. Like I said, we're tearing this bitch down, people. Pluto and Jupiter are not getting along. Coming into the spark of the power of this, of all of the soul essence of yourself, believing it from the outer world to inside of us and back out. It is having problems getting along with that identification, the manifestation, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, possession of it, truly claiming where we are and being responsible, not allowing ourselves to be manipulated unconsciously into staying in the underdog energy. This is taking responsibility, reclaiming, taking our power back. But it's easier to stay with your comfort zone. Neptune and Mercury is the last bit. I will say I was born in my astrology with my Mercury in retrograde in the 10th house. And then I have everything in my communication zone. I was born with it in retrograde. You have got to learn, because I've learned how to flip my retrogrades over and make them my allies. You've got to learn where your communication automatically is starting to harm you, where your inner communication, where you have pushed so hard on higher self to dig down deep and give you the answers that you need. But there's nothing down there. All the answers are up higher in the higher self. And when you force yourself over and over again to fight within yourself for higher consciousness, yet you're telling you it's lower consciousness, subconsciousness, digging down deep, stop telling your higher self how to do its job and allow it to do it. Don't allow yourself to push on your higher self so hard that it's having no choice but to give resented energy, which ultimately is ego, making you think lower consciousnessly, underdog. This is about allowing yourself to step back, breathing in. No, I'm not going to put up with what they have tried to subliminally throw off my subconsciousness into believing I still get to be part of this Frankenstein story. No. You have to learn how to listen here, know here, believe here, and put that story down. And then climb. Climb that ladder like nobody's business. Because you are the highest thing. You are the most powerful vibration. But if you don't climb, well, how will you know? I love you guys. See you next week.